Hello and welcome to the Big Tree podcast with Adarsh and Adam. In this podcast, me and Adam take you through all things cricket. So the first three games of the IPL have been over. How do you find them?
Well, it's interesting. You were actually someone who actually went to one of the games yesterday.
Yep.
What was the experience like?
Exhilarating and just electric. I mean, I can tell you, I got
Yeah,
in around 6 o'clock, or at least I
yeah,
was supposed to get in around 6 o'clock for the
yeah.
opening ceremony, and there were around 20,000 people near me,
Wow.
and going through them was like, and I am not like an adult till now,
Mm,
so I had to. My mum is calling me in from one
mm,
phone, and my dad is calling me from another,
mm.
and I'm having to scramble through. And I cannot tell you how hard that was getting in
Yeah,
for in the first place. And then after getting in, Shah Rukh Khan was dancing, and
yeah,
then you had all of that going on.
yeah.
The game's experience overall, I would say that I would have paid more. I paid around 100
Mm,
quid for the game, and I would have
yeah.
paid 500 quid if that were the case, because
Wow.
I absolutely loved the experience. I would say that we had tickets right from the
Mm,
vertical. So, how can I say it? Say from we had a direct view of the batter
mm,
from one end. So, yeah, really good experience. And I would say that the only place where Indian grounds can
mm,
step up their game is water, because
mm,
I drink a lot of water and I've heard this
mm,
from a lot of people. They do not serve free water, first of all, and the water they do serve is not very
mm.
clean. So I would just
Ah,
suggest to the, if anyone's listening at all, please just fix on that, because I had to go through, and the food was average.
what about soft drinks or kind of other
I,
beverages?
yeah, they can't go wrong with Coca Cola, can they?
Yeah.
Okay, this is a cricket podcast, not a food criticism podcast. Anyways,
so, so
so
what do you think when they made their score? What was it 170 odd for eight?
175.
Yeah. So what were you thinking at the time? Were you always confident that you'd chase it
Yeah,
and
definitely.
score?
I mean,
Yeah.
if you saw the first 10 overs, how Rahane was playing, it
Mm.
was apparent that the pitch was really, really flat. Like,
Ah,
did you? I don't think you saw the first
yeah,
wicket, but
yeah,
the first wicket where Quinton de Kock fell to Hazelwood,
yeah.
that was the only one, in my opinion, in which the bowler had some role in the batter getting out. Other than
Okay.
that, if you look at how they got
Yeah,
101 of for one in the first
yeah.
10 overs, and then they got what 74 for 8
Mm,
in the last 10. So it just felt like an ego contest for Kolkata. They wanted to get to 230 or 240, and in the
yeah.
process, they got to 175. In my opinion, what strangled Kolkata are two
Mm,
things. Ajinkya Rahane played till 55 of 30. In my opinion, he should have played like Virat. Virat carried
okay.
on till the end and kind of seed through the chase like he does. Rahane tried to go all guns blazing. And
Mm,
second of all, in my opinion, Ankush Raghuvanshi. He scored 36 of 31 in a pitch which is supposed to get you to 240. And that too in the death overs. So I just feel like he's what, 21,
mm.
and he does not look like international standard to me.
And who was the pick of the bowlers?
Krunal Pandya. I
For
mean,
RCB. Yeah,
this that goes without saying.
yeah,
We were sitting there, and
yeah.
I'm wondering. I thought to myself completely that this guy is not going to do anything, because
Mm,
he was putting in a lot of effort on the field, but he's like a poorer Daniel Vittori. So,
mm,
but he surprisingly turned up. Although I'd
mm,
say that he got lucky as well, because a
mm,
lot of the Kolkata batters weren't helping themselves with their shots.
mm. So how many? What do you think was par?
I'd say 210, 220.
Ah, okay.
And now coming on to RCB's
Mm,
innings, when it started, Salt.
mm,
I would say Salt and Kohli are
mm,
probably, Salt is the best person Kohli could have asked for, because
mm,
even though last game I think you saw he scored what at a
mm,
strike rate of 300 Virat,
mm,
that's not
mm,
how he plays. And if there's someone like Phil Salt who's going to go all guns blazing throughout
mm,
the power play and beyond, then
mm,
Virat can just play his own game and score at whatever 150,
mm,
160, and that allows the team to like get what 240, 250 more
mm,
easily. And yeah, I think that fared really well. They scored what 80 of the first 6 overs, and
mm,
in the chase of 175, then it's just
mm.
like cake, right? You're not doing much at all after that.
And Livingston in at the end for the finishing touches.
Huh?
Livingston in at the end for the
Yeah,
finishing
yeah.
touches.
Livingston obviously played really well, Patidar as well.
Mm,
The one thing which really surprised me, and in the
mm,
ground as well, I was wondering what was
yeah,
happening because
yeah,
um, why would you send in Devdutt Patikal over Rajat Patidar? Because Rajat Patidar is by far
yeah,
one of the best spin players I've seen in the
yeah,
IPL after Heinrich Klaassen, maybe the best
yeah,
spin player in the IPL. And they sent in Devdutt Patikal just
yeah,
because of a formality. I mean, they've it's kind of like England in the white ball spectrum. They've
mm,
just because they've inked him down as a number three, they're going to put him in number three, even though it does not make
yeah,
sense.
yeah.
You
I
know
know what
what
you
he
mean.
was doing from the ground? It was really apparent. Both of his feet were stuck in the ground, and you have seen how Chakravarti bowls. So he
Yeah,
was
yeah,
bowling quick turners, and he wasn't able to get bat on ball, and he looked
mm.
like a clueless duck in the crease. I don't know what he's going to do for us. By us, I mean RCB. I support RCB. So yeah, I don't know what he's going to do because he does not look very promising to me. And
What
yeah,
about
Virat's go.
Narayan?
Huh?
How's Narayan bowling now? So if you a lot of people might have seen him like 10, 11, 12 years ago. Is he still the same player, or what do you think about Narayan?
Yeah, I mean, he's not bowling particularly bad. I'd say
No.
he's bowling very good for the kind of wickets these are.
Yeah.
If you see how flat these wickets are, you'd probably like think that the pitches baseball makes are like
Yeah.
Jamaica 1997 or something.
Wow.
Yeah.
Fair
Uh,
play.
and like Virat's innings, 59 of 36, he scored those two sixes. And I put this tweet out as well, and this has gone really viral right now. So what happened was, and I found this really interesting.
Mm,
He came towards our side during the
mm,
game for obviously fielding, and
mm,
people actually like there were 5,000 people in that stand. 5,000 people stopped watching the game and started just looking at him,
mm.
taking his pictures, and that happened as he went throughout the ground. So
Yeah.
people were stopping watching the game and just
Yeah.
looking at him, and that that just felt so odd to me.
Yeah.
There was a national basketball player from he'd
Yeah.
come from Croatia or something to watch the game.
Yeah.
He was sitting beside me, so he was
Yeah.
telling me that he's never seen this level of stardom for a
Wow.
player ever.
That's interesting. And so, was he a cricket fan then? This Croatian basketball player.
Yeah, he's an international basketball player.
Wow. Well,
How,
that's
where would
impressive.
you rank Kohli's overall popularity from what you've seen over the years in cricket?
It's amazing. He seems like the most popular. I'm trying to think. I remember because I remember Sachin Tendulkar coming over here, and the guy was mobbed constantly. Also, when he was at home in India, he had to like wear like a false beard, go in disguise when he went out. But it's definitely the most popular since him. You could tell me more if he's more popular than Tendulkar, but he's definitely the most popular since him. I don't know if he's more popular. What would you say?
Yeah, I would say that Virat has benefited a lot from the fact that when his peak coincided with India's digital boom, so he kind
Mm,
of like benefited from that. But yeah, if you went to a middle-aged Indian man who's
mm,
got no association with cricket, he'll
mm.
know Sachin Tendulkar,
Yeah,
but I'm not sure he'll know Virat. But
yeah,
if you went to a person my age,
yeah.
there's a high chance that they may not know Sachin Tendulkar, and they
Mm,
may know and they will know Virat Kohli. Yeah.
yeah.
And also
That's
the fact that I think in the US and all
yeah,
that, I think Joe Rogan mentioned having
yeah,
Virat Kohli. Mr. Beast has talked about him. Elon Musk has talked about him. A
yeah,
lot of people talk about him. So
yeah,
in the West, so I think he's kind of more global than
yeah.
Sachin as well.
That's probably true. Because cricket's bigger in the USA now than it was when Sachin was playing, so that's probably true. Um,
Yeah,
so maybe he's the most popular.
yeah, and we both predicted RCB to win, right?
Yeah, yeah, I think so.
Yeah, that felt really good, and their net run rate got a huge boost in the end.
Yeah,
So now
yeah,
let's move on to SRH versus Rajasthan.
yeah.
Uh, what do you think is like when are we getting the first 500 in T20 cricket?
The first 500. I don't I don't know. We had almost 500 in the 50 over with Owen Morgan's side. He got
England
about
would have
four, I
broken it.
think.
That side, give it
Yeah,
one more year, they would have done it.
yeah, but I don't know about maybe. I don't know what did India get that time. It was like a year ago. What did they make? They made like a really massive score against Bangladesh. What score
India,
was that? Yeah, I don't
297.
think 297. That's it. So that was almost 300. I don't think
Yeah,
we'll ever get 500, but maybe 300, 320.
yeah. Uh, in this game, I mean,
Mm,
I just look at the
mm,
batting lineup. You've got Abhishek Sharma, Travis Head,
mm,
Ishan Kishan, Nitish Kumar
mm,
Reddy, Klassen. That is like five batters who can all score at
mm.
300 strike rate.
Yes.
Just
Yeah,
bonkers, isn't
definitely.
it?
What did you make of Archer? Because that was the most expensive figures of anyone in IPL history, I think, from the
You would
four.
have, you and I would have gone for less than him. You should
What?
have seen how he was bowling. I don't think you were following the game or anything, but he was bowling slow
Yeah,
length deliveries back
yeah,
of the hand and expecting them to magically do something, and it just feels like he is not even 1% of the bowler he was. Because I go back to the highlights in
yeah,
2019 and he was
yeah,
genuinely competing with Bumrah to
yeah, yeah. He
share the
was. Yeah,
honors as the best bowler in the world at that point.
yeah,
And even in the IPL he was ruling the roost there, and
yeah,
now it
yeah.
looks like he's just a pedestrian bowler who's going
Mm,
to get tonged around every day. Lost that zip which he had in his
yeah.
action. I don't know whether the injuries got to him. What do you think
Mm,
about it? And what do you think about England's Ashes prospects
mm,
right now? Just deviating from the IPL slightly,
yeah,
but since we've got Archer right now,
yeah,
Wood's injured, and you've got
yeah.
Archer who's not looking like a shadow of his former selves. And you've got
It
like
was.
Carson Atkinson are obviously there, but the two spearhead bowlers look down.
Yeah, I mean, it was such a gamble. I think it was Key or Stokes said, we're planning, when they first took the job, for Archer and Wood to be down under. And you're thinking, that's a real gamble because they're both heavily injury prone. I mean, Wood is 35 now as well. He's not exactly young. And Archer hasn't been the same. I mean, it's like I don't know. There's a sense I get with them where they just refuse to accept reality. So Stokes, even though he's injury prone, will continue to bowl long spells and then get injured and wonder why. And Wood, they'd bowl him and they get injured and they get shocked. Oh wow, he's injured, even though he's injury prone. And he's injured all the time. Archer the same. When was the last time Archer played a test? I think it was 2021, really early against India in
Yeah.
maybe the second or first test. That's early 2021. It's 2025 now. Hasn't played a test since then. So obviously there's something wrong, and he's just played white ball games sporadically. You can't rely on him or Wood to spearhead your attack because they're just not. They're not fit. They're not fit, and they won't. I mean, Wood might play two tests in a series, and Archer will play zero. So I think it was very optimistic from them. Really, they'll have to think again.
The good thing is that I think Australia's prepared seam friendly pitches, and in
Mm,
England have actually got good bowlers, in my
yeah,
opinion. Despite not having these two, you've got Cars, Atkinson, Potts, Sam
yeah,
Cook, Dan Worrell, and then
yeah,
you've got a lot of bowlers. I mean, England
yeah,
aren't short of right arm, medium, fast bowlers. It's just that very quick right arm
mm,
express bowlers,
mm,
kind of those two bowlers were. And
mm,
I actually would say that I wasn't sure of how Jofra would fare.
mm,
I would still like say that Wood in those conditions would have still
mm,
like been kind of a X factor bowler,
mm,
and I still think he's going to play like one or two
mm.
tests. He's going to play in Australia. Australia.
Well, because McCollum was saying that he wanted Archer to play against India this summer, and you're thinking, I don't know if that's the
I
best
don't
thing
think
for England,
his
even if
body
he's
will
fit.
hold up.
No, his body won't hold up, and probably you'll find that if it's Cook or Worrell in English conditions will be better against India than Archer. I d it,
Worrell, Potts, and Cook would trouble Kohli.
yeah, they see they might get him to nick off to slip
Just
or
bowl in
something.
the fourth stump, and he's going to
Yeah,
like be on your bread. He's just jam on your bread. Okay,
yeah, that's the thing. Yeah,
okay. So on Rajasthan Royals'
yeah,
innings, uh, it just it never felt like they were going to chase it down around the 10th over mark where
mm,
Rian Parag and Sanju Samson were going strong. I kind of
mm,
felt like one of them had to
mm,
just forget about getting out and play
mm,
as like completely freely, but they didn't.
yeah,
And it just felt like they were trying to save the net run rate at the end, and they got what 242 for six and still
yeah,
losing by
yeah.
44 runs. Who would have imagined this while creating? Did the
It's
ECB imagine that someone
yeah,
scoring 242 in 20 overs would lose by 44 runs in 2003?
no, I think at the time you thought 150 was like a really good score, and now teams are getting 280 plus. It's really amazing how the game's gone on. But do you think there's an issue with T20 that boundaries might almost become they might almost be devalued in a sense that they're so regular. There's so many sixes and fours that you could become a bit blasé about it. Or do you think that that's fine? It's just an evolution of the game.
Yeah, I kind of like think
Mm.
the norm should be 160 to 200 in my
Mm.
opinion. I think a lot of people want 260 to 80 games, but in my opinion 160, 180, and Virat Kohli has said this as well. A lot of
Mm.
people, Dhoni, all of them have said that after a point it kind of loses
Mm.
its nuance. Cricket
Mm.
is more than just range hitting, and
Yeah,
it it feels a bit like a entertainment more than a sport at one point,
yeah,
but I'm okay with it because
yeah,
a lot of people here enjoy it.
yeah. I mean, that could be the evolution of cricket. It's just evolved in that way, and that could be the way it's played from now on.
Yep. And on their bowling,
Mm.
Sunrisers Hyderabad's bowling, not much to look in there, but
Mm.
from whatever I saw, Pat Cummins went for
Mm.
4 overs, 60 runs.
Mm.
Didn't look very,
Yeah.
very like appealing at the end. And Zampa and Abhishek Sharma. Abhishek Sharma, ironically, was the like most economical bowler.
That's a funny one. And what about Shami as well? He bowled, didn't he?
Yeah, he took 1 wicket, 3 overs,
Yeah.
33 runs. It doesn't look like the same bowler. I don't think he's
Mm.
going to return to what he was in 2023.
Uh, and do you think that's permanent, or do you think he can get
Yeah,
get
I
back to
thought it
form?
was just his body not holding up,
Mm.
but yeah, now it's gone. He just does not have that kind of a run up anymore. So I don't think he might still do well in England. He's
Yeah.
better than what we have right now. Maybe
Yeah.
Harshit Rana isn't still up to 50%
Yeah.
of what Shami is right now, but
Mm.
I wouldn't say he's what he was in 2021, maybe, where he absolutely wreaked havoc with Bumrah.
Yeah. He's incredible.
Yep. And the third game, CSK versus MI. Rohit Sharma scored 0 of 4 runs. Anything for you to say about that?
He's your enemy, isn't he? What? What? I mean, and his side lost. He's. I don't know.
Let me just
Yeah,
put it to you this
yeah,
way. Rohit Sharma in the past
yeah,
10 years or so has
yeah,
had an average of around 15 in the IPL or 16
yeah,
and has a strike rate of 130. Let me
mm,
but there's context to this. He's
mm,
won them 5 IPL trophies as a captain,
yeah,
but as a batter he's been very very under par. Like if you
mm,
go through his stats, he'll look like, I'd say, Dom Sibley would have a better record than him in the IPL. He's been really
wow,
poor, and that's got marks because of how good a batsman he's been. And he's not
yeah,
that kind of that poor in international cricket. Certainly not in white ball cricket. So, I just for a franchise like the Mumbai
yeah,
Indians who value
yeah,
merit so much,
yeah,
and
yeah,
Dan Weston, when he came onto our
yeah,
podcast last time, he talked about this as well. He said that retaining Rohit Sharma for 16 crore
yeah,
makes no like cricketing sense. It's just a commercial
mm,
pick.
yeah. I mean, that you have to factor that in, though, don't you? With these franchise leagues, it's not just about the cricketing output, is it? It's the big names as well.
Yeah. Same with Dhoni. I mean,
Mm,
what's he doing? He obviously he's like the second or first.
mm,
He's tied with Virat Kohli as who's
mm,
the biggest distraction in the IPL.
mm,
But purely on cricketing merit, someone who's coming in at number 8 and barely facing any balls, doing a like average job behind the stumps. And
yeah.
I don't speak on his cricketing ability right now. He's 43, man. Come on, he's not going to be what he was in 36 years of age. But still, I just don't think he'd get into CSK second
Mm.
CSK side as well on merit right now.
But that was a crucial not out, wasn't it, today?
And what do you think uh, about Jax and Surya Kumar Yadav and the entire pitch as well? Chennai's strategy in the IPL seems to be preparing ranked turners or not
Mm,
ranked turners, but slow pitches and then strangling people to death with
mm.
them and then chasing it down. Do you think that it takes the home advantage too far, or are you okay with that?
I'm okay with home advantage, really, but you just have to make sure you win when you prepare a pitch like that, don't you? Really,
Yeah,
if you don't win, then then you kind of ruined the game and you've lost as well at the same time. I don't know. Jack's get a wicket today as well.
Yeah, Jack's got a wicket
He
today.
got Corrin now, his England teammate.
Yeah. And um, Gujarat Titans traded
Mm,
Noor Ahmed
mm,
for Shardul Thakur.
mm.
That is the kind of a trade you'd expect Kanye West in his current form to make, because like Noor Ahmed is a top class
Mm,
elite level spinner right now, and
mm.
Shardul Thakur wouldn't get into your second side in a T20 game.
Yeah, he's a guy you pay in Test cricket because he can bat a bit. He's like
Yeah.
almost an all rounder, but yeah, he wouldn't like spring off the page for me as someone I'd select.
And for Chennai, I mean, Ruturaj played really well.
Mm,
He's trying to prove a point to everybody that he should get into the IPL side. Also, I
mm.
forgot this. You remember we talked about Ishan Kishan, how he was snubbed from the Indian contract after he'd
Yeah,
not played in the Ranji right after the India England series
yeah.
in 2024. So he's not been picked for India or even looked at for selection. And I think this was kind of a statement to the selectors, scoring 100 of 45 balls. So what do you think about that? I mean, I think Ishan Kishan is a really talented player,
Mm.
and he's going to challenge Jaiswal's spot in the T20 side at least.
Yeah, he looked good when he came out. He looked really good. So I don't. So maybe there was like an issue with form, but the talent was there. Whenever I've
There was an
seen him,
ego issue. He was a bit disciplinary. He
yeah.
didn't turn up to practice sessions and all that.
Mm. But his talent isn't in question, is it? Really, he always looks like a class player.
Yeah,
I think we've
definitely.
got
His talent
a lot of
isn't.
strength in depth there.
Yep. And Rachan Ravindra, I mean, ever reliable, 65 or
Mm,
45 takes Chennai over the line. Jadeja scored 17 of 18, but the main attraction and the main talk of the town for the game is Vignesh Puthur, who's
mm,
taken 3 wickets out of nowhere. He's a
mm,
16-year-old from Tamil Nadu who's not played domestic cricket and picked out like okay, I mean, baseball style. Let's say it's baseball style, but MI has been doing it longer. It's just that people talk about
yeah,
it more right now. And
yeah,
he's taken 3 wickets, and he was. They scouted him, and then they put him on a plane to South Africa to train with Rashid Khan. Just that is what MI
mm,
does, and I think they've unearthed another gem, maybe.
that's amazing. It's such a young age as well. There's a 13-year-old still. Has a
Yeah,
13-year-old?
yeah,
Um,
13-year-old.
yeah.
Puthur is my age, so yeah, I kind of
You've
feel
got to get a
sad that
move
I'm
on.
having to talk about him.
You've got to get a move on. You're getting old.
Yeah. I'd have to count my gray hairs. Yeah. Okay. So we thought that after the
Mm,
first 3 games, we'll preview the rest of the sides, which we hadn't
mm,
done in the um, first episode of the IPL. So previewing the Delhi Capitals, you've got KL Rahul, Jake Fraser McGurk, Karun Nair, Faf du Plessis,
mm,
Donovan Ferreira,
mm,
Abhishek Porel, Tristan Stubbs,
mm,
Aksa Patel is the captain, Samir Rizvi, Ashutosh Sharma, and a bunch of uncapped players. And then you've got Stark,
mm.
Natrajan, Kuldeep Yadav, Dushmanta Chamira. To me, this side does not look like one that's going to make the playoffs.
No, although there's a few good players there, like Stark and Kuldeep, you'd want in your
Stark
side,
is a
wouldn't
hit and miss in the IPL.
you? Yeah, Kuldeep you can't argue with.
KL Rahul
Fraser
in my.
McGurk's
Huh?
interesting. Fraser McGurk is interesting.
Yeah, Fraser McGurk is. Have you seen KL bat in the IPL ever?
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
He's he's like Jeffrey Boycott trying to bat in an IPL game. So
I think,
so
yeah.
he's chasing 270 and he'll come
Mm,
in, he'll score 30 of 30 and
mm,
try to convince people that he's somehow trying to like get to the target. He'll never do. He'll
mm,
get 20 of the last 10 and they'll still lose, and he's going to get his 50 or 100 whatever. He's like the biggest liability in the IPL in my opinion. They've spent what 21 CR on him. I just don't see the point of doing that. You've got Duplessis, who's what 41
mm,
right now. You've got Karun Nair, just one player. I think Jake Fraser McGurk will have to carry the batting lineup in
yeah.
there. Abhishek
How good
Porel
do you think
and
McGurk
Tristan
could
Stubbs
be?
there as well. Yeah.
How do you think? How good do you think Fraser McGurk could be? Because you hear a lot about him in Australia as well. Um, And there was even talk that he'd play in that BGT because they were struggling for openers.
Teams may
How
have
highly
figured
do
it
you
out.
rate him?
Teams may have figured him out by this point. My intuition says that.
Yeah. Okay.
What do you think about him? Because when I saw him, unlike Head, when you see
Yeah.
Chavez Head, you realize people said he has a short ball weakness. He
Mm.
overcame that. But to
Yeah.
me, for some reason, it feels like JFM will kind of be a one trick pony,
Mm.
or not exactly a one trick pony, but not very multi dimensional.
Mm. Yeah. He he doesn't strike me as someone who's going to play a lot of Test cricket, but he does seem okay. From what I've seen of him, he seems decent enough, but not like amazing. He wouldn't like scare me if I was playing him, but he's decent.
Okay. So they're not making you playoffs either, right?
No, no.
Okay. So let's move on to Lucknow Super Giants. And then you've got Rishabh Pant, David Miller, Aiden Markram, Matthew Bridske, Nicholas Puran, Mitchell Marsh, Shardul Thakur, Abdul Samad. And in the bowling lineup, you've got Ravi Bishnoi, Shama Joseph, Mayank Yadav, Avesh Khan's not a very star-studded bowling lineup, but you've got
Uh,
Mayank Yadav. Uh, for this lineup, they picked Rishabh Pant for 28 CR. We talked about this with Dan
mm,
as well, but
mm,
I again like same with not as bad as KL, but
no.
I don't think that Rishabh Pant is worth 28 CR. I think Ishan Kishan is worth more than him.
Yeah, I mean, is it a lot of it to do with the fact he's a big name?
Yeah,
Yeah.
yep, got it right.
Um.
It's
I
just,
don't,
but
mm,
I don't see it right in football. This doesn't happen, does it? You're
no.
not going to pick a player just because of the commercial
No.
value. Because
No.
football fans are ruthless. If the player is not
Yeah.
going to play well, his commercial value will drop, and so will your clubs.
Yeah.
I don't see why this happens in cricket, honestly, to the extent that it does.
It, it's it, there's more sentiment I think in cricket than there is in other sports.
Yep, and they've got like you've got Pooran, Miller, Markram, and
Mm,
Abdul Samad, Mitchell Marsh. So they've got a big, massive
mm.
middle order. They're going to take care of
Yeah,
that, but
that's very
still,
good.
this lineup, unless Mayank Yadav can get fit, I wouldn't place them down as playoff makers.
How do you rate Shamar Joseph as a T20 player?
The opposite of what he is as a test bowler.
Yeah, that's the impression I get. Why was he that expensive, or do you think it was a good move? Or do you think maybe they
he,
made a mistake
he's kind
signing him?
of like what Rabada is without a proper Yorker or a proper stock
Yeah,
length, which no one can play.
yeah.
He's bowling 150k rockets, which
Yeah,
like at a length on pitches like these. What do you
yeah,
expect? I mean, he's.
yeah,
I don't think that he's just been picked because of the match against Australia in the
yeah.
Gabba, but I think he's going to go unsold next year.
I think so. What do you think? Do you think the other Joseph's a better bet in T20?
Both are bad T20 bowlers.
Yeah,
Yeah. Okay, so the Gujarat Titans, you've got Shubman Gill and Josh Butler opening the batting. So
mm,
like
that's very good.
again, one of the best opening
Yeah,
combinations. You got Sherfin Rutherford, Glenn Phillips, Kumar Kushagra. All rounders are Shah Rukh Khan,
mm,
Mahipal Lomror, Washington Sundar,
mm,
and Karim Janat, and a few more. And in the bowling lineup, you've got Rabada, Siraj, Prasidh Krishna, Gerald Coetzee. Yep, they look like and
mm,
Rashid Khan, of course. How can we miss
yeah,
Rashid
yeah,
Khan? So yep, this lineup is better than the previous two ones.
yeah, yeah. Definitely, they're
Uh,
bowling decent bowlers there actually.
yeah, but still, I'm not convinced that they're going to make the playoffs. Honestly,
No,
what about
they
you?
could do though. They could do though. That side looks good. Looks better than the ones we've seen
To make up your
previously.
mind by the end of this podcast, I'm going to ask you your top four playoff makers.
Yeah,
Okay,
I'll have to think about that one. Yeah, but looks like an okay side to me.
okay.
There's some
So
good
let's look
bowlers
at
there. I like good here from South Africa.
Punjab now. They've got Shreyas Iyer as their captain. Josh Inglis is in there. Nehal Vadera, Vishnu Vinod, and Shashank Singh, the sensation last year. Prabsimran Singh. All rounders are Marcus Stoinis, Glenn Maxwell, Marco Janssen, Azmatullah Omazai, and Harpreet Brar. Bowlers Arshdeep Singh, Yuzvendra Chahal, Lockie Ferguson, and Xavier Bartlett. They've got Ricky Ponting as their coach, so Punjab looks promising to me. They might just sneak into my playoff makers.
Yeah, I mean it's okay, isn't it? I mean, it's similar in terms of quality to the previous squad, really, and better than the early ones we talked about. Lockie Ferguson's a decent player, isn't he? I wonder if he's kind of tailed off a bit from when he first came out, but he's decent.
Who are you talking about? I couldn't get you.
Sorry, Lockie Ferguson.
Lockie Ferguson. Um, he bowled well for the for RCB last year. For
Yeah,
base price, he bowled like okay. So I think Ponting will devise a strategy.
yeah,
Okay,
yeah.
so
He's
my
a
top four
street player.
is RCB,
Mm,
CSK, SRH,
yeah.
and MI.
I'll go MI, Chennai, Sunrisers, and RCB.
Same way then.
Yeah, I've just done it in a different order.
Okay. And my orange cap is Virat Kohli,
Yeah,
and with he's going to cross the 1,000 run mark,
yeah.
and my highest wicket taker will be Josh Hazelwood, 37, 38 wickets, somewhere around there.
Hazelwood's a good bet. I think I'll go with Hazelwood, but with the batting, I'll go for Salt, just as something different.
Do you think Salt is going to, because Virat is going to play the anchor's role in the
Mm.
IPL, so you think he's going to fare well?
I think you. I think as a T20 player, I trust Salt completely. It's just in the other formats I don't. But I think he's a very good T20 player.
Yeah, I'm not
I
doubt.
think
I'm just
that's
saying
yeah,
that he's playing more of a high risk, high
mm.
reward kind of a game. Whereas,
Yeah, yeah,
so he's more likely to get out for zero in one game.
yeah,
Whereas
yeah.
Virat is going to score 30, 40 in each game. But still,
Mm.
like, yeah, fair. And how many runs do you think then he's going to score in the entire competition?
Bloody hell. What? Three, 400, something like that.
Okay, so around the 700, 800 mark then.
In the end, I suppose. Yeah.
Okay, okay. And who are your winners for the IPL?
I'm gonna go Chennai.
Do I need to say who's going to win the IPL? I
I
mean,
think I think you're gonna say RCB.
yeah, it's RCB. Uh,
Yeah,
how many days do you think it'll take Jeffrey Boycott to score 287?
five. Maybe it took him about 6 hours to get 100. So maybe it's harsh. Maybe 3 days. 3 days.
If you got to move on 3 days, otherwise he'll require the entire 5 days. Does he watch
Yeah,
the IPL?
I think he. I don't think he would have been a hit in the IPL. But maybe he could have been a batting coach or something.
So we've got the two games tomorrow, and then I think Dan Weston is going to be joining us next week again, reviewing all the games, and as kind of a sequel to the episode earlier, maybe Adam may not be present for that game, so it's just going to be me and Dan. So till then, we're going to see you again. Have fun watching the IPL. Bye.